Welcome to the Three Kingdoms Overlord walkthrough and guide. This has been done because there's not a lot of English language material on this game. Obviously, it's translated into English, but it's run by a Chinese company or company from Hong Kong in any case, and it's as a result not necessarily friendly for new players. It's a decent game, but a lot of people get intimidated early. There's some of the items are mistranslated, and ultimately just wanted to make a guide that would help people starting out in the game. I think even if it was English was the first language, is not necessarily the easiest learning curve. So wanted to make a resource. I just really didn't see any available on YouTube, so that's why we're making this. There are two servers to play. Most people play on the Peacebreaker server. So that's what we're doing. We're going to basically start from the beginning title, which is Commoner, and take it all the way to Magistrate. There are titles beyond Magistrate, but Magistrate's a pretty good stopping point because at that point you'll definitely know what you're doing. You'll need to at that point join basically what this game's equivalent of a guild or a clan is, and that's called a state. Definitely want to shout out the Peacock's Discord as well. They're one of the more powerful states that, they definitely helped me when I got started. And but again, there's not like a good wiki or anything, so this is my effort to try and make this game more accessible for new players. So we're gonna start the game. You start out as a commoner. You can pick any of these images. That's going to be our name. This is going to be ultimately a temporary account. But we're going to play this from the start. We're going to get it at least through the first few titles. And then maybe I'll show some of the gameplay on a different account, my main account specifically. But here's basically just the cutscene. Goal of this game, it's many facets. Ultimately, the main map is what's called the common map, and your goal is more than even unifying, it's to kill players. That's how you gain a title over the long run. And it kind of resembles, again, the 100-year civil war in China that took place between about 180 AD and somewhere around 280 AD. Give or take a few years in each end. Here the game starts in 184. An hour equals a year of real time, and this is the tutorial mode. Obviously, we start as commoner, so it's going to make it. Basically, you're going to just click through that. You don't really. You could get through this on your own without any help, but I'm going to ultimately also kind of just go through some questions as they come up. You'll see here you start with 3 generals. They're known as heroes, but they're really generals. And what's going to want you to do is we have 50,000 troops, and we have 3 generals, but no troops assigned to those generals. As your generals level up and get stronger, they can command more troops, and those troops respectively do damage. Here we've only got 3 heroes. The formation does not matter. The tutorial is designed that you're going to win for sure. So it wants us to speed up the march. Most games it's 10 minutes to get from one city to the city that's adjacent next to it. So, and again, kind of like all classic mobile games, they have a girl that's dressed more scantily clad than would be appropriate. Don't know why they need to do that, but here we go. So there's 2 maps here. There's the army map, which we were in previously, and then there's the city map. City map is where you get resources. It's going to want us to build us some huts. Huts are one of 2 ways you get troops replenished in the city. You can kind of see here, 45 troops an hour, not a lot, times 4 is 180. You can level up these buildings to get more. The palace itself will give you troops too. We're going to want to build coins. Notice here 900 coins an hour. It costs 3,000 coins to build initially. So it's a 3-hour and give it like a 20-minute payback, give or take, for you to break even. That's usually going to be obviously very much worth it. Batch build will build all empty land as that same type of building. You don't have to do 4 huts, 3 markets, and 3 farms, but it's not the worst setup. There's times when you're going to want more farms, and we'll kind of get into some of those situations as we get further in the tutorial. They're going to want to upgrade here. 100 coins, and now we've gone from 900 coins an hour to, well, not more than 900 coins an hour. I think it's 945 or 950. We'll just take a look here in a second. If it lets us click, again, with the tutorial, it kind of forces you to click. Yeah, it's not going to let us do that. But anyway, it is worth it to upgrade your cities. We launched an invasion on Chenkang. And we've done our marching boosts. And we're just basically, just like most games, it's going to give you a lot of rewards early. Help you level up. We started at 1, we're already at level 4. Obviously, levels in the future won't come nearly that fast. While we're waiting for this battle to happen, you'll see these flashing lights. You'll click on them, and it basically means they're alerting you something. We've got 5 of them going right now, but we're going to watch this battle real quick. It's designed so that we're going to win this, of course. Literally guaranteed to win. And you can toggle here to hero name. These fire kind of emblems, when they get full, it unleashes your special skill. In this case, instead of doing 100 damage, you do 280 damage. I don't know if there's even any enemies in the room here, but you will then be punished for 2 moves after, and that's a good trade-off. Some of these other moves just, again, instead of doing 100 damage, you're doing to one enemy, you're doing 120 damage to multiple enemies. Once you knock out their generals, they will have some troops on the wall. They don't put up a lot of resistance, but in large numbers it can be, it can only be enough. Okay, so it's going to force us to go to the stratagem menu. Basically, it wants us to research this, and it's going to want us to put some more heroes here. Reserve troops. Use these stratagems carefully. There's, we'll get more into when's a good time to use them and not to use them. Obviously, in the tutorial, it's going to want you to do what you need to do. So it's going to make us recruit some heroes here. For the first week, you only get to recruit Shu heroes, which is annoying. You don't get any of the Kingdoms of Wei or Wu or even the neutral ones. This is an uncommon hero, not a very good hero. We're looking for blue ideally, but we're getting, or even purple, but didn't get that. Here we're going to get a good purple hero. It'll be Fa Zheng, I think, if it's, I remember right. Oh, it's Yan Yan. Okay, well, we already had Fa Zheng. We'll get more into the heroes in a second here. But basically, you just keep cashing in these quests. And we'll just go real quickly through some of the items along the way, because some of these things are non-intuitive. We've got 5 more plain tokens, so let's just cash those in as well. Do a batch recruit here, and as you can see, these are grayed out. 7 days, you'll be able to use those. There's usually 5 or 6 tabs here. We're almost kind of between seasons, so not all the recruit options are available. You can use Jin heroes with the advanced tokens. Not necessarily a huge advantage. And then past feature, we're going to hit that later. These are very good heroes. So anyway, I want 5 more heroes, though, so we're going to hit this button. Masu's pretty good, at least at this stage. Blue, one thing that's important to know is that the order of heroes is green, blue, purple, orange, and then red at the top. But at lower levels, orange isn't necessarily better than blue, and there's reasons for that we'll get into in a later video. What we're going to do here is quick replenish. And we've got some more troops, and I think it wants us to attack Chang'an. And you can play around with the formation, like Fa Zheng's a tactician, probably don't want him in the front row. Put Yan Yan there. And one of the other things we do actually before we attack as well, you hit on hero. So for example, someone like, just do Masu, for example. You get experience every time you take down a city, and we can actually level him up. 2,000 for the first level. The cost is steep from there, but we can get him from. Can't go past your Emperor level, but we can at least get him to level 2. That'll make him a little bit stronger. If we take a different hero, let's look at Zangi, for example. You can see the stats here. These can go past 100. Every level he gains, he'll gain a total of 7 in stats, and here's the breakdown. 2.1 Valor points. That's your attack strength. Intelligence is your tactics strength, really. Might is hit points, and aura is defense. So this number comes the slowest usually. And so we just made one of our heroes a little stronger. Purple's in theory a better hero, but for a lot of reasons, again, as you get later, you'll see that's not always the best heroes, or necessarily the highest colored ones. In the end game, obviously, red and orange are by far the best heroes, but it takes a while to get there with the resources. So we're going to launch one more city here. We're going to go through these kind of alerts, and then that's going to get us to the next level, next video at least, and we'll get more into how to get through this beginning title, which should take you less than 45 minutes, maybe, certainly less than an hour. This room becomes useful later, but for now it's not super important. There's nothing to do here, actually. I promise you that. But this guide will give you rewards. We've got some achievements. Some of the achievements are no longer obtainable, so they just let everyone finish them. So that's why we have this available to us. There's no more blizzard weather, for example, but we're getting 50 chests. Those chests are valuable. These are going to be useful. Let's see what else we got. Silver. This is a good resource. And we're going to cash that in. I think... see what else we got here. This is great. We'll get into why this is valuable in the next video, but we're just basically cashing rewards in, and this gives you actually quite a bit of a leg up compared to people who maybe started before. They would just kind of legacy some of these items. You can think of 100 ingots as basically like worth $1 US, so they're going to give us some money here, which, you know, that's nice of them. These are not useful early game. They become more useful later, but that's beyond the purview of this channel really. Storyline does not necessarily do anything, but it's fun to read through those just to give you an idea. Yeah, just a little kind of text. If you're not familiar with the book, it's one of the greatest books in Chinese literature. Multiple English translations, called Romance of the Three Kingdoms. I've read it. Definitely a good, difficult book to read, but a good book. And we're nearing the end of this video, but we're on our way. We've got our army kind of bearing down in Chang'an. It wants us to build some of our other cities up, which seems reasonable enough. Let's do that now. Again, you don't have to build 433. You can kind of build whatever you want. I would say early game, rice is more valuable than gold, and we've got plenty of troops for the level we're at, so I'm just going to build farms. We're not going to blow through any of these resources, to be clear. We'll build some huts here just for laughs. Just batch build. You want to be a little more precise in a game that's competitive, but this doesn't really... This is not going to make a difference, but we do get the quest completed. It wants us now to upgrade the resources. So, batch upgrade. They collect another reward here. These are stratagems. Again, if you run out, we got the one that gives you 80,000 gold. Now this will give us 80,000 in provisions. It is when you attack a different country, it's a minimum of 5 provisions per troop. It seems like that lasts a long time, but as you're Eventually, you'll have armies that have 6 figures, so it's going to be just 500,000 per attack. You will need those stratagems. This is training Overcomer. You can't really use any of this yet. We don't have a neutral hero we can even send off here, but there's usually a bunch of tabs here. We'll make a whole video dedicated to the different options available when next season starts. For those that don't know, we're creating this video towards the end of April. It's about to be the end of the current season and into a new season. These time-limited events, this is a great event. We're gonna pick up prizes here. 2 advanced recruitment tokens. And this event's not very good. These are like kind of like events that maybe show up once a week or whatever. Do not spend ingots on this event under any circumstances. It's not worth it. You will get a free thing. We might get some silver. We might get some recruitment tokens. We might just get nothing here. We'll find out. We got some stratagem kits. That's fine. You just take it for what it is. Don't chase this with ingots. It's not worth it. Log in, 50,000 silver. Silver, we can't see it yet. We'll eventually let you buy items. Equipment, we do have equipment that we'd like to give to our people. But the first thing I'm going to do is use these merit chests. You're going to get either silver, a currency called War Souls, which I'll show you what they do in a second here. 145 War Souls, and more recruitment tokens. So we talked about leveling up Masu. Let's just show that right now. You can also rank up as hero, and where this comes in handy, as you get stars, he gains extra things. You know, more damage, more attack, more troops. The game limits how far you can level up heroes based on the level you're at and how good they are. So a green hero can go higher than a blue hero, which can go higher than a purple hero. They eventually can all get to 5 stars, and orange can go beyond. Green heroes have DC the worst stats, growth rate of only 6 points per level. Blue is 7 points per level with more stats, and then purple's 8, orange is 9, and red is 10. But the stars make a difference too. So hero, if we go to hero, give me a second here. Oh, not there. Hero, Masu. So right now he has 1185 troops. After we give him a star here, he's up to 1192 troops, just a little more attack as well. And this will really take, the big thing is it went from 7 points a level to now 8.4 points a level. We're going to level these people up far over time. You hit this lineup button, it gives you his recommended teammates. Not super helpful. You'll notice that he doesn't really get used at high levels of the game, but at low levels he's a very playable hero, and that's what we're really interested in. You'll also see here this combo skill. He pairs well with certain heroes. Mao Liang, his brother, and then Wang Peng, which we don't have yet. But we're going to go back before we sign off. We're going to recruit a few more heroes. Hoping to get lucky. Batches of 5. Lu Feng, okay. Green hero, not happy. If you get a duplicate, you do get those War Souls, which are used to give stars to heroes. Green gives you 10 War Souls. Blue will give you 30 if it's a duplicate, and purple at 150, and orange 1,000. So that's one of the advantages of Orange Souls. If you get a second one, it is useful. And we're going to use some of our tokens here to see if we get lucky. This will also let us recruit outside of Shu even in the first 7 days. Not that that's super helpful, but we did get another purple right off the bat. This will give you Jin and Wei. I'll show you the odds here. Hao Zhao's a pretty good blue hero. 84% chance of blue hero for these, 12.5 for purple, 3 for orange. Your common recruit tokens aren't going to get you very far. 3% purple only instead of 12.5. No chance of orange. You get those green ones, but you mostly get blue ones, good, thankfully. The green ones never really recommend powering up to use in battle. There's like a couple of very rare exceptions in the early stages. they have some uses later on. We're still waiting on Chang'an here. But I'm going to sign off for this video. We will do the next video and release it tomorrow, hopefully. Thank you so much, and look forward to helping you get through this game and enjoying it along the way. Again, any questions, leave them in the comments. We want to get you all the way through to Magistrate. Thank you so much.